Vocalis Health is a health tech company developing vocal biomarkers. A lot of information can be derived from voice, and we developed a technology that analyzes voice and give you insights about which health condition or conditions that person can have and how these conditions are changing over time, for example, at home or maybe under treatment. We have a pipeline of vocal biomarkers in multiple stages of development in multiple diseases. One of them is the COVID-19 that we recently did a study in India, and we published the results that you saw. So, VocalisCheck is a software-only tool. That means it can run on smartphones, on laptops, and basically every device that can run an app and has a microphone. It asks the user to count from 50 to 70. Then it analyzes that voice recording. It actually transforms the voice to an image and use that image to compare to other voice recordings, other images of voice recordings of other people that we know in our database what the COVID-19 status is. And based on that, it outputs the risk for having COVID-19, low risk or high risk. Just imagine being able to do voice screening to detect risk for COVID-19 for the entire population for a country, for example, at home using the smartphones of the people. You don't need them to buy other device. You don't need them to go somewhere to do a test and then wait 2 or 3 days to get a result. You can screen everyone with a software-only solution at home at their own convenience. That's why we think it's great. It will help governments, it will help healthcare organizations, big employers to screen people at home and detect those at high risk for having COVID-19, and then decide what to do with them, whether to send them to PCR, tell them to stay in quarantine, or do something else like rapid test or anything else. So actually, VocalisCheck is already available for customers for commercialization. We have customers worldwide. It's being used. It has been used, for example, to allow safe back to work. So we offer a back to work solution where employers can ask their employees to do one simple test in the morning before their employees to do one simple test at home before they attend work. This way they can detect those at risk for having COVID-19. And the same thing can be utilized for airplanes, for theaters, basically everywhere. Another use case that customers have been using this product is what we call it AI guided testing. Imagine big labs doing COVID-19 for thousands and thousands of people. This way they can use this device in order to direct them to those who have higher risk for being positive, and this way they can be much more effective in the testing. I think it's huge. Actually, looking back a year ago, we were doing something else. We weren't looking at COVID. And when COVID arrived and being a company developing vocal biomarkers that was focused mainly on lung diseases and respiratory diseases, we saw here an opportunity, to help the world fight COVID-19 by providing very scalable, very affordable solution that can be deployed at home on smartphones. So the way we see it, if the product will be adopted by governments, by healthcare organizations, they can screen mass of people at once at home, and then they can, detect those at risk for being COVID-19 positive very quickly. And I'll give you an example that we saw in several of our studies. So when we looked at the patients, so we had negative COVID-19 confirmed by PCR, and we have positive. And in the positive groups, we had both symptomatic and asymptomatic. And what we saw repeatedly was that in the groups that were positive and asymptomatics, I mean those that were missed by symptom screen and temperature check, the VocalisCheck solution was able to detect most of those asymptomatic positives. So imagine, rolling that solution worldwide, you can easily detect those asymptomatic COVID-19 positive that continue to spread the infection further. This way you can, for example, quarantine them and then immediately stop the spread of the infection.